So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And for those who are going to be watching this on the recording, we appreciate you taking the time to do this. So I'd just like to introduce our speaker for today. So Haas Notarkesh is an executive business coach and Tony Robbins certified life strategist. Haas's coaching passion has been fostered through his 17 years of senior corporate healthcare executive career. His Bachelor of Science in Microbiology and Master of Business has provided him with academic proficiency to help many individuals through their professional and personal journey to achieve their full potential. Haas owns and supports businesses in 3 continents, and with that comes the leverage of understanding a common trend of excellency that drives entrepreneurs to dent the universe with their masterpiece. Haas is a USA patent holder with 11 claims, and his signature package is Passion, Discovery, Propriety process that is designed to support undergrads to optimize their full potential. So on behalf of Nipissing University Student Union, I'd like to introduce Haas and thank him for his time today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sarah. That was solid. I really appreciate it. Hello, everyone. I hope that you're enjoying this beautiful weather. I'm grateful to the universe for presenting me the opportunity to serve you today. I'd like to open our session today with the art right behind me. I get a chance to host a lot of clients and guests at the office, and usually I open up by asking them about their take on about the art. This is one of my favorite arts at the office, and I thought I would ask you the same question. Take a minute and contemplate about what do you think of the art, if it comes to you anything, and then feel free to type it in the chat box, and then I will also tell you about my take on. I have a picture of it as well, because I know the lighting is with the cameras aren't the best to really capture the beauty of it. So I'll just put it on the screen for a second. The art is presented in 5 feet diameter. The left side is a black wild rooster feather. The right side is gold leaf. So when I look at it, I look at a sun, and there are many different things you can think of, but the beauty of art is so subjective, and that's what I think makes it more interesting, to be immersed in art. And I think, the way that I look at it is that, sun is one of the main elements of life on Earth, and not only biologically, but also psychologically. And, by the time when we're born until we are a year and a half, we are in delta brainwave, which is, most of the time we're sleeping. And then from, even sometimes with our eyes open, we're sleeping. From a year and a half to 6-year-old, we are in theta brainwave, which is that hypnosis. The hypnosis is so real that the inner world is more real than outer world so vividly. So if we are riding a broom and feeling like that is a horse, we're truly feeling the emotions of riding a horse. That is so vividly, felt within us. When we are from 6 to 12, we are in alpha brainwave, which is super creative. And that is a zone that, we believe that we can become whoever we want to, the best NBA player, the best scientist, the best ballet dancer, the best, musician, the best artist, you name it. And then, we are sensing the outer world with our 5 senses, but still the inner world is more real. From 12 and 13, 14, 15. So we are tapping to that low beta brainwave, which is that our analytical mind. So we're sensing a little bit of a different, obviously we're sensing now the outer world is more real than inner world. And also we are, understanding the concept of lie and truth. You can, distinguish it vividly. We have understanding of, what is so much of about, for example, culture, religion, regulations, policies, and things like that. And, at that point, we feel that pressure of community, and then that, religion, family, and many other things that is pushed against our abilities, and we start developing some limited thoughts and beliefs. And one by one, they act like those one feather at a time. They overcast our beautiful sunshine. And what it is, I would just go away. So what it is that, I feel like, most of the time when we are tapping into that analytical mind, and again, as we grow 15, 16, we go to mid beta, and by 18, we have developed a full analytical mind that we can tap into that high beta, that we can take on biggest challenges or survive on, or basically we can really take on, really complex problems. So what happens is when we, feel like, okay, you know what, these little feather is overcasting our sunshine, is that is the time that I feel like, maybe I'm not the tallest to become the best NBA player. Maybe I'm not the smartest to become the scientist that I want. Maybe I'm not pretty enough to do whatever I want to do. Maybe I'm not smart enough to become the artist I want. Maybe I'm not talented enough to become that ballet dancer, you name it. And this is coming, to overcast our beautiful sunshine. And we want to push back, but again, we feel like everybody else around us doing the same thing or have been doing the same thing, including our family, parents, friends, that they say, well, you got to settle. We want to become a doctor. We want to get into a university, and then we don't have enough credit, or we don't have, the best GPA to get into the school we want to. And we start selling, for less than what we believe we deserve or we want to. So the idea is to really push back, but we don't start doing it. And again, it's not everybody. This is just a lot of individuals. Let's put it this way. They try to push back. By the time they're in mid 20s and late 20s and mid 30s, especially, because our brain at that point is fully developed and psychologically we're really connecting with it. We try to push back and pluck away one feather at a time to really bring out that full glorious sunshine of us that once we had it and we felt it so vividly. So what it is that the idea is that we don't wait that long, because what happens is we're bombarded with responsibilities in life that it makes us heavier to make that move. So I'm hoping that, with this beautiful art and the metaphor that I'm using, you will really understand the concept of pushing against those limited thoughts and beliefs. So when I get a chance to serve a lot of individuals, and again, from early 20s till like I have mid 60s, they express that there's a loss of the feeling of that full sunshine, because when you know what it feels like, you can achieve it. And I gotta tell you, scientifically, when you are fully focused, laser point focused in doing what you love, you are at your full force sunshine. And that is you're in low alpha brainwave, and you're immersed into it. Your performance is up 500%. You're entrenched in hyperfrontality. You're in flow. You're in zone. And chi in Eastern culture. So there are many different names for it. When you work out, you also get into that zone as well. That is a zone you're familiar with. That is when your energy flows effortlessly. That is when you can do whatever you want to. And that is your full sunshine. And I think the beauty of that is, though, it will never go away. What happens is, as soon as you push this, black cloud or these feathers out, and then you try to pluck away one at a time, you come to the belief that what you're capable of to do. And then it's not the end of that, the plowing through at that point. No, you will believe in your ability in your adult life, because you have your analytical mind, and then you have this passionate, beautiful alpha brainwave that is your transcendental hyperfrontality you can tap into. So what it is that at that point, you will take on bigger challenges. And again, this is something that's been in the history forever. Like, I would just use a perfect example of Elon Musk. Like, when he was into PayPal, after that, let's just say he believed the fact that he can do whatever he wants. He took on bigger challenges. And do you think we didn't go through many emotional turbulence in his life, achieving what he's achieved now, or any of us, like, our parents, they have gone through the same thing to their own capacity. So we want to make sure that, we truly believe that is possible, because this is what I just talked about is the whole philosophy of our today's session. I'm going to share a couple of slides here. And then again, I don't have a lot of slides, but I thought I would just have something here, so at least we can go by as well. So I don't know if you guys have it. Do you see the slide? I hope so.
Yes,
I know we tested with Sarah. Oh, thank you, Sarah. And Sarah, she's super kind. She helped me with setting up everything else. So again, my contact information will be shared with you at the end of the session. And this is what we're trying to do here. I don't promise I'll get through the whole thing, because you know what? I love the discussion when it comes to consciousness and who we are, a passion, and then where we are heading, kind of things like that. That, we get really lost in really the discussion itself. But the idea is to capture most of this, and hopefully maybe all of it. And if not, hopefully if you guys are still interested, we can set up another session. So I would address a few of the, the agenda in a minute. But I thought also, on top of what Sarah said about me, you need to know my story. And then the story that is not maybe shared at this point out there as who I am. But I think, for you to understand, what I'm talking about is that you need to know me a little bit. So, I was born and raised in a beautiful Persian family, a loving, caring mom that is housewife, and then very dedicated, hardworking dad. And then when I was 3 years old, what happened? I became familiar with the concept of money. So my aunt tipped me to swear. It's so effed up, but this is how it was. Then very soon I realized that, by earning money, I would earn respect. My dad was an entrepreneur, my uncle was an entrepreneur. By age of 5, I started selling pinwheel on the street. The same day, my dad saw me, and then he didn't like it whatsoever. And a Middleton dad who's super traditional, he was super upset, obviously, because he was a jeweler, had a little reputation for himself. So when I was in school, that was my playground. I could buy and sell whatever I want. And, I started buying electronic kits. By, I think, in grade 5, I was making already radios, double programmers, a wiring system, you name it. I got into school of microbiology. I became a microbiologist, but while I was doing it, because of my background, I reinvented or redesigned, however you want to call it, an air purifier. I registered it, and then, I would pump me up. At a time, I was engaged to my high school sweetheart. We moved to Canada. I was super pumped. I started working as a laundry from care homes or nursing home. We were just doing laundry. And within a year or two, promoted, I got into a coaching program that a company invested in me. So within 2-3 years, I was one of the youngest licensed executive director of long-term care homes across Canada. I was pumped. They really invested in me. I'm super thankful for their, energy that they put in me, and I became very successful at what I was doing. Really, my my instinct. And at the time, I had bought a house, or we had bought a house, and then I started flipping it myself. So basically, during the day, I was working full time. At night, I was flipping the house, and I was still, at the Ryerson and studying as well. So I did that a little bit, and then I made a name for myself within the company for sure. But the engagement didn't work out despite the sincere effort. So imagine I was 26, 7, 8 probably, and then I had pretty much anything that I wished to have, that I thought it gives me the happiness and and then fulfillment, which was materialistic stuff, a big house in a nice location, a decent job and position, fancy position that I was, and then a nice car, and being fit and whatever. So I felt that there was something missing in my life, but I tried to use different vehicle to meet my needs. And then my compulsive dating didn't help, and I downsized because I thought maybe the house is too big, because it feels lonely. I downsized a little bit, and I downsized another one. I got a penthouse, that was like sunrise to sunset view, 180-degree. And again, not millions of dollars of what you see out there. It's probably expensive right now, but again, it's not something that I wouldn't want to put your mind in that style of like, super rich people, but it was decent enough, long ceiling. We had a lot of like, photo shooting done by reputable magazine, you name it there. I designed it. But I gotta tell you though, it didn't feel right. Again, compulsive dating, some drug, alcohol, partying. And again, I was responsible because I was working super hard at long-term care home and retirement home that I was doing. That home at the time was one of the most expensive product of North America. So anyway, the despair got so bad that, at one point I remember I was standing back and looking out the window and then looking at the view. And then the despair was so bad that I just said, what if the thought crossed my mind that what if it would just end it all with one last flight? At that point, I said, gee, that's not good. Like, I got to do something about it. So then I quit everything and I went to travel for almost 2 years. My journey was just more discovering who I am, what I want, what is my purpose on earth, where we came from, like, what is this all about? If this is not what gives me the happiness. And again, I didn't millions, but again, you don't have to eat the whole cow to know what it tastes like. So, it was that, and that journey really took off at that point. And, I met my now fiance in Germany while I was traveling, and she's with me in Canada, in North Bay, actually. And I believe she's on the call as well. But anyway, so what happened was when I got back to Canada, I was almost broke. It was an expensive lifestyle. So I got another executive job. The least performed location in North America for the largest company of North America, which was Atria. So anyway, what happened was I was so hard up. I didn't have enough money and whatever. So I just, convinced the VP at the time that I had to stay on a location, and that was really the case, to really clean up the place and really bring out the leadership team together. So I did that. So I kind of stay at the retirement home sometimes. I rented a penthouse so I could make some cash to pay the debt, and it worked out. It really worked out. Again, within 6 months, we got the location back on one in all platforms. The leadership team within the company really appreciated it. They offered me the position. They had hired, a career advisor to the psychological assessment test on me to how we perform to make sure they, put it in their hiring system. Anyway, and then at that point, I just said, no, well, I already had a plan. I don't address that I had, had got myself involved. And then I left Toronto or north of Toronto, which is, I ended up in North. Originally, I thought I would just go to Muskoka, but the former company of mine, they reach out to see they want to build a very large, beautiful retirement home and long-term home campus all together. And then the former CEO said, "Oh, this is your forte," and which was. Meanwhile, I could help the other location within the North Bay as well, which was beautiful, beautiful. We end up in North Bay, have a bunch of, and again, beautiful neighbors and the beautiful people within the community. The company was awesome. My leadership team is still to this day. I'm still so in touch with them. Everything was just lovely and beautiful until I got to the point that I wanted to really, live my full life and passionate as an executive business coach and then work in a different capacity. So basically that is, a little about me and how I end up here. And then the things that I've been doing for the last, I would say 5, 6, 7 years since that, rock bottom that I had. I studied, again, not to the academical level that I'm a PhD of anything. No, I'm a rookie in every aspect you can think of. I'm an amateur in anything you can think of. I'm not an expert. I just had studied a lot of neuroscience, psychology, quantum physics, philosophy. And again, and business was engraved in my soul. So, I did a little bit of that. So I got my master, but that's where it has everything been stemmed from. And then what I'm hoping to talk to you today is that's where it comes from, my experience. And religions definitely was a big part of it because it has a lot of rich culture. And I studied or lived with 4 of them, which I mentioned later on. So where we came from, and actually, you know what, though, I'm going to stop sharing here because there's not much here. All right. It's just we just want to touch base on. I just want to make sure that, I have a little bit of a guideline as where I'm heading. There it is, where we came from, who we are, and where we are heading. So basically, this question could be like 3 books. And again, we're just touching on the surface to just give an idea of where we're going with it. Make sure you stay hydrated. Just have a sip of water. Just before the call, I just pour everything on myself. I think it's dry right now. Okay, so where we came from and then who we are. And as for the where we came from, so, and I will also try to hint the religion side of it as well, to respect that perspective as well. So obviously, we just touched on it, the sun, being the main element of, or one of the main elements of life on earth, then through positive feedback loop process, all right, we have become where we are right now. So in past, 500 million years of earth and the life that we know, so our brain is 400 million years ago. The frontal lobe is 2.5 million years old. And, everything within earth that we're talking about here that have been developed and to the perfection through positive feedback loop process, meaning, there was a system in place, it kind of, ran its course, it didn't work out, it went back and evaluated in life and as biologically, and then they adopted a new process, then again, they put it to work, then just like the same thing that they do at many big companies right now. So biologically, and again, I use neuroscience to serve many of my big companies that I support them. So that's exactly what it is. So for example, like, if you have different fruits, and then, if you see that fruit is perfected and mastered to the point that a tree is hosting it where is most, inaccessible. So if you look at it, like, for example, most of like flowers and anything sensitive or fruit of within every plant is it is situated in very inaccessible place, because the plant is trying to protect it and making sure that the audience or the clientele of that fruit or that flower can only reach it. So same thing with us as well, our body. So, most of mammals, that's what they have done as well, throughout the years, or we're talking about hundreds of years, millions of years here at this point, they have been perfected. The idea is you understanding the fact that we are such a unique entity, and as human beings, that we have a quantum world of us that is out there, and the Newtonian world, which is more within the form of matter. So us within a matter, and then we have the quantum world of us. And the beauty of it, though, the whole universe, at least again, the Earth-wise, we have been working towards a masterpiece that is a perfect combination of these two worlds, because we know we have quantum and we have this Newtonian world, which is in form of matter. So what it is, if you've noticed, everything is within the consciousness of, within the limit of consciousness, and we are within our limits of consciousness. But again, every plant, every animal, and then what it is, we have been able to perfect that positive feedback loop process as a human, so we can really tap into that higher consciousness. What do I mean by that higher consciousness in this concept is that living more, working less. 300 years ago, we used to work a lot harder and live less. Thanks to a lot of inventions, electricity, safety, health, education. You don't have to go to grocery store every day because we have a fridge. You don't have to hunt because we have people who will provide us with food. You don't have to, sleep, with one eye open because we have security system in place. And again, this is like, where I'm going with this. So this is a higher consciousness. We are trying to, achieve that higher consciousness so that we live more and we work less. So that is really one of the most obvious matter within the current global society we live, and people are not really paying attention to it. So because they are going through those most basic needs that I went through, I'm still going through in other ways, but not realizing that that's what life is all about. Again, do you remember, it's all about discovering what is our full potential and then plucking away one feather at a time So we bring out our full glorious sunshine, to, shine bright like a diamond. Did I just quote Rihanna's lyrics? I love that song and I love her too. So yeah, we just want to really shine bright like a diamond. And again, that is the idea. So we can take on more challenges. So that's what we have, this electric vehicle. We have other advanced, technology, because we're tapping into that higher consciousness. We need to be mindful of that. So where we came from, I really think that is a process. That's how we ended up here. I know, philosophers within different religions, they also, they are claiming, at least, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, they are saying, though, we go back to 5,500 years ago, which I understand that part. And also there are some religious philosophers that are saying, well, it's not that human as species was around for only 5,000-6,000 years ago, because we know for a fact, no, we have been around for a lot longer now. Scientifically, it's proven. It's more of our consciousness as a higher consciousness of human that is basically a few thousand years old, not necessarily as a human as species. And I respect that, because when you read, again, Bible, Quran, and then Homish, or many other books of these religions, that they really speak to that, and it's just more of who we are spiritually. All right, so basically that's where we are, and that's where we're going. All right, so this is it. So who we are as the individual, we are the universe masterpiece and the consciousness instrument. So if you notice, within the society of the global society, human species, we work, less and will live more compared to any animal out there you can imagine. All right, we have that, leisure lifestyle, and we are heading to hopefully a life that is less war, more unity, and less hate and more love, less poverty and more prosperity. We are, I know it's hard to believe that, especially with this stupid war happening. I can't believe it. But again, with us all coming together, supporting Ukraine, I think that is just shows our unity. Same thing with COVID. We all came together, and I accepted the fact that, though, what, we need to really work as one. So that is, what I mean by we as the universe masterpiece. Because when you look around, and again, in many religions also, they have stated the fact that human are the ultimate, masterpiece of universe, or God. We're created by God, and then from God. And I can come up with, God knows, 10 different examples as why we have mastered it. We should respect other, obviously, entities within this universe, but believe in the fact that we truly are. And I think it's within every single of us. It is encoded in our DNA. Every part of us, you can see God, you can see the universe, you can see the unified field. So ultimate level of consciousness is where we are heading, because if our consciousness, hopefully you can check out my YouTube channel, I talk about the consciousness as a hot air balloon, and the envelope of that balloon is our consciousness, and then the sandbags are what's holding us down. And again, you could just relate it to the black feathers, so you're holding us down and not letting us to reach our full potential. So what happens when we drop those sandbags, which is, again, the hate, the jealousy, and not a proper nutrition, and trying to change our state of mind with alcohol, drugs, and whatever you name it. Again, I have no judgment against those who are enjoying it, but as long as they realize and they balance that somehow that is not really impacting their ultimate goal or their lifestyle in a way of is not really damaging it fundamentally. So that is basically where we're heading. When we drop those sandbags, we elevate as a consciousness, and then it broadens our perspective of life. And then we consume and spend less energy because we are in high altitude. So, and again, not many people make it up there, so it's not really bumping to each other. So you can really have that freedom of time and space. So you can soar this, we can roll this sky, soar the sky the way that you deserve to live. So again, I really hope that you really dive deeper to what I just mentioned about that positive feedback loop process. We are the universe masterpiece, and then we are heading to that ultimate level of consciousness. I love it how Elon says, you know what, I want to just, go to Mars. So at least if we end up killing the consciousness, here, so we have that extended consciousness in Mars. And the fact is, though, I totally understand what he's saying because it's totally doable. And the fact is, we need to understand so many different, again, Buddhism and many other religions also, and Eastern culture has talked about that body, mind, and soul, which Rumi 800 years ago, he's a father of psychology in many ways. He talks about that as well. But I want you guys to know that the consciousness is a stem from body and mind. It's not separate. It's not an entity. This entity of body and mind collaborating together with elevated heartfelt emotion and coherent mind coming together, create that it's a bioelectromagnetic field. That is truly the consciousness. And then when you tap into that, you become unlimited. You really dive into that realm of unknown to create out of unknown. Because again, our body is the consciousness instrument. We are the instrument of consciousness. So when we have that quantum world, when we meditate and we tap into that transient hyperfrontality or theta or even alpha, we're connecting with the balance of that quantum world, and we bring it to the Newtonian world, which is the cause and effect. And then when is a quantum is creating it, create out of unknown. Creating out of unknown is that quantum, and then cause and effect, which is Newtonian world, which is our matter and form of matter. We are coming together and then really mastering that. Alrighty, so what is passion? I would try to again share here, so at least you see a few of the stuff that I did. Okay. Hopefully you get a chance to have a sip of water as well. Okay, I hope you see my screen. So what is passion? And again, what I mean, like, referring to passion, you need to understand the passion with a full force shining through. That is truly your passion, truly in love. So passion means willingness to suffer for what you love, by Robert Chen. And again, we're not saying this is passion, but we're talking about, what is and how has been defined in history as passion. Contrary to the simplicity of a passion definition, most people don't know what is their truly passion. And that's what we got us working on a few years ago with psychiatrists and psychologists to come up with our proprietary, signature, which is passion discovery. I don't want to talk about that, but again, there are many ways that you can discover it, which I talk about it later about the other strategies. But I love it how Nelson Mandela says, there is no passion to be found playing small. Instead, in settling for a life that is less than the one you're capable of living. That is truly it. Do you wanna really be the sunshine is only half bright? Like, living when you get one life to live as a human, at least as far as we know right now, which is you are the masterpiece. You are the masterpiece of universe of all time in the last 500 million years. Okay, that we know that that there was a life existence within Earth or within human. It was a very long time, at least, very long time, and then we have that chance to live it, and then we have to really make an effort to really live it to the point that we are producing a masterpiece, because we are a masterpiece. And I think by if you live it with the less than what you're capable of, it would just be a shame. And I always say, I use what do you call it, the term that we have an obligation to be a masterpiece. And I know it may sound a little bit heavy, obligation, but look at it as a love, as a capability, as something that is within you, is encoded in you, it's all you. Because when you become one with what you love and your passion, you are one. There's no duality. And I know sun is one of the main elements of life on earth, and one of the reasons we have these dualities, up and down, black and white, life and death, day and night, winter, summer. So this duality, this beauty of this duality is within us, but you can become one and close the gap and become one as part of your quantum world and Newtonian world. Bring it out and then meditate and connect with it and stay connected. Your intuitive guidance, empower it, trust it. Okay, we'll talk about some of those as well. So this passion, again, the answer is not to buy our passion discovery package. No, the idea is you understanding the principles. All right, so how I think you can find your passion, and this is just my opinion, is that quit the race. I know when you go back biblical books, and Abraham talks about it, and I don't know the actual wording of the Old Testament, but he talks about leaving your city, moving out of your parents' house or wherever you can, explore the world as soon as possible. That's 4,000 years ago. And to this day, I know many studies have shown that when you move out, when you go out there, you leave your city and culture as much as possible, you will, understand and you tap into, a bigger wisdom that is within you. You just discover it. And what it does, though, it breaks all the bias. The bias is what is really, creating that unbalanced approach to certain things. And we want to make sure that, you are not really being, you don't have your blinders on. And that's what I think it is. You need to really get rid of that, like, demolishing all those bias, studying different cultures, exploring it. You have the opportunity. Most of you guys, I know I have some audience from Europe and Middle East as well. Hello to you all. I know, but you know what? Some of you are privileged to have beautiful, like strong, powerful passport of you. Use it. Use it. Put it to use. Travel, understand different culture, feel it, eat their food, sit down with them. And in the 2 years that I went through my self-discovery journey, and at the time I was already here for a few years, I had met a lot of people. I have worked with a lot of different cultures. I have dated many different cultures and lived with them, for some. You had a better understanding about when I left, and I came from Middle East, that is a different. I'm Persian, where I'm from Iran, so we have a multi, culture within our culture, and but still, when I went out there, I discovered I met a lot of gurus, I met a lot of mentors, I met a lot of coaches. So it really helped me to really break down those barriers, those beliefs that I thought it was just that is it. So quit the race. And again, don't think of, I'm 22, I'm 21, I'm 25. I gotta be here, I gotta be there. Let me tell you, that hamstring wheel, at one point, I really hope you all will get a chance to feel that you shouldn't be on it in the first place. That is it. When you are gonna have the half shiny or 3/4 shiny sun, you're gonna end up on that hamstring. And not the reason we are here. We were not meant to live like that. We're meant to live the life the way that the God intended, the creator invented, the unified field invented, the universe intended. So when you come off that rat race, you really don't have to worry about judgment, people judging you, and then look at cultural bias. Self-discovery journey, physically and emotionally. Again, I get a chance to serve a lot of individuals with different backgrounds, and some individuals go through heartbreaking experience, and I go, that's a beautiful thing, because first of all, you fell in love, you experience it. For whatever reason it didn't work out, you learn from it. Keep all the good stuff and watch. Hope you can get a chance to watch one of my video that I talk about, like how to get through your breakups, and I talk about all the memories, and then get rid of the bad memories if there is, learn from it, move on, fall in love, trust people as much as you can. But again, you need to understand, don't go cowboy on it. So you need to be mindful, and then be aware of the risk, especially something that will impact you long term. I would definitely advise that if you're just saying self-discovery journey, physically and emotionally, I'm not really recommending to go to places to try ayahuasca or some other stuff like that. Again, you want to do that, it's your life, do it. but the other way of experiencing different things as well, that, you know, it is as vivid and as powerful as those experiences. Yeah, definitely go out there, travel as much as possible. Listen, most of you guys are a student right now, and I had a video about why 73% of our students, you know, can't get a job within their field of study. That is 73% failure within our education system in North America. And it's not because we're needing to teach us good stuff. No, because we are not aware of what we want and how we can really use that skill. So we get into a program that doesn't serve us, basically. Watch that video, it is helpful, and it talks about passion discovery and then how we can really tap into your, you know, beautiful hidden skills that you're not aware of it. So it really is self-discovery is powerful. How do you want to go through it? You don't want to travel the world, that you can discover who you are. How does our passion serve our mission? This is very important. You got to understand that, you know, when you study Michael Phelps, which is the, I think, most decorated athlete of all time. So he wanted, he a few times, I think he wanted to end his life. You need to understand, though, if you're so good at something, it doesn't mean you're gonna be doing it and that's your passion. So you make who you are. You know, it really gives you that direction, that energy. So, you know, if I'm so good at something just because I was, you know, put it in a certain condition, my personal reality helped me to shape that personality. It doesn't mean if I'm even so good at it, that is truly my passion. Your passion, you know, is truly connected to your soul, to your being, and is directly to your mission. It's very important, very important. When Michelangelo, you know, took off from Sistine Chapel because he didn't want to paint it, you know, he hated fresco. So, you know, when he got back, you remember, it was not about his passion. He hated the fresco, but again, how come he ended up creating one of the, if not the masterpiece of all the time that you could create with, you know, paint? So you got to understand, though, it has to speak to your mission. Love and denting the universe with our passions. You know, something that I want you to keep in mind is that passion and love, it can be used simultaneously because it's almost the same in most cases, at least. You know, when you fall in love, when you're in love, you operate in alpha brainwave, and alpha brainwave is the love zone. You know, you don't sweat over small things. You're creative, and then, you know, you're healthy, and your passion is mostly your love too. I remember when I started doing, you know, my coaching business. At one point, I was so immersed to it. I was even telling Suli, my fiance, that, you know, every song on the radio, it was about my passion and my business. It was just, you know, I have few music on my, actually, you can find it on my YouTube channel, on my music list, that I talk about it, and it talks about that, how, like, you know, in love I am with what I do for a living, and, you know, I'm so grateful for it, and that is truly the love that I mean by. And you cannot help it but denting the universe with our passion. You know, if it wasn't for many individuals in human history that they were willing to suffer for what they love, we would have not had Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, Elon Musk, Nikola Tesla, Mother Teresa, Rumi, Michelangelo, Einstein, you name it. You know, but again, it's not so much of suffering for what you love. That suffering, that pain is a pleasure, because again, you don't look at it that way. Ask a mom who's giving her birth, say, baby, it is painful. Are you kidding me? But the minute that baby is born, as a mom, she's born, and that pain is so electrifying within who she is. All right, so what are we here? We got only, yeah, I'm not gonna rush through it because we only got 15 minutes left, and I want to open up also to some question as well if you have. But, you know, presenting our passion to the marketplace. So, you know, when I was a kid, you know, like many other kids, I love ice cream, and I would take my time eating the ice cream so much that it will melt. So that's what I'm doing right now. I like to serve you. I like to over deliver as much as possible. I could stay here for hours to serve you all here, but I don't want to rush through it because these subjects, are very important and very crucial, and it's not so much of an academical approach to certain things. This is love, this is life, this is intellectual, this is really practical, things that, we can use to be happy, ultimate happiness. So presenting our passion. Now, we just said that, what to do to discover our passion. And again, that is like really getting to know who you are physically and emotionally, tap into your strength, to understand, discover your strength, to overcome your weakness, take advantage of the opportunity to eliminate the threat. That's how you optimize and maximize your true full potential to have that glorious sunshine coming out hard at your full force to create that masterpiece and not having any limited thoughts and beliefs. When you're fully focused, laser point focus, you're not thinking of anything but what you're about to make, because you become it. When you climb mountains, what happens? You become one with the mountain. When you're flying with a flying suit, you are it. When you're creating as an artist that beautiful musical piece you're making, you become it. The writer, I serve a lot of artists. I serve writers, I serve filmmakers, I serve painters, many other artists that I serve them. I learn from them. They say, Haas, we grow as an individual and an artist with the art that is giving the most challenges. Because I know, I don't want to get into neuroscience side of it, that what happens to your frontal lobe to get connected, the neurotransmitters of like dopamine and the serotonin, I don't want to get into that, but if you're as interested, you have another session to dive into what is really biologically happening to you that you really feel the love and emotion. So organize your efforts for maximum your results. You got to understand, higher consciousness is not just philosophy. You need to make sure you get a chance to live more, work less. That means that I need to maximize your profitability from not only monetary matters, but also you as who you are. So you can explore the life, to the fullest while you have the chance when you're on this earth. So you need to maximize that. We're not saying, listen, all come together and we're gonna just, be super kind to each other. We're gonna come up with a currency that no one has to work. No. Remember, you gotta pluck away one feather at a time. This is serious. I want to make sure that that when I get into business mode, we become ruthless. First of all, we have integrity, but again, as a leadership, we become ruthless. I learned business with many individuals, and you need to understand mastering that how to maximize your result is an art. Finding a vehicle to express your art. See, now let's just say I can become the best event planner. By the way, we need event planner in North Bay. I serve a lot of businesses in North Bay, locally and internationally. And I know for a fact, if tomorrow you open an event planning business, boom, you're going to be successful. You don't even need anybody like me to support you with, lifting up the business. I support, again, many not locals, but also organizations within North Bay that are helping entrepreneurs. So if you have any questions or if you need a little bit of support with that, feel free to, first of all, come down to the office. I will show you the rest of the arts within the office. It's a very unique place. Again, if a bunch of you from university want to book a time to come down, I'll love that. If you want to do it yourself, I'll love that. But anyway, that is really finding the vehicle to expressing your art. If you are going to be a hairstylist, that is your art. You need to find a vehicle to maximize it. So, and not in a traditional way. We need to really tap into the, what is out there, what is possible for you to maximize it. We need to understand that, because I don't want you to get feel unappreciated for art. I know marketplace, you can understand something. As a quantum physics, the intensity of work you put into to actual project you're hoping to manifest. So that is basically your intensity of the work and love you put in it would determine how long does it take to become to the full flourishing and then full maturity phase. But you need to also understand though, the product itself is so important, you're making it, but market position is so important too. We need to position it properly that you get the most profit, you most what do you call it, appreciation for your product. A marketplace, let me tell you something. There's one law that applies for all the products out there. Marketplace appreciate originality, authenticity. And let me tell you something, you cannot become and create original product unless you're authentic yourself. That has to be within you. And then every single of you is so unique, You just have to understand the gift within you so you can really tap into it to create that beautiful, authentic, original product that you can only put your stamp on it, that becomes your signature, becomes who you are. That will become your passion. And then you will really implement it and exercise and practice it and put it to work and put it through exhibition, through your mission. So not settling for what comes easy, but what speaks to our heart. You need to understand though, it's not that, the easiest way. If that's the case, Nelson Mandela, if it's not your passion, if you're playing small, if you don't feel the fear, if you don't feel the excitement, if you don't see that realm of unknown, you don't know what's going to be the next move, you're not really maximizing your effort. So if you're going to be let's say a nurse, and then you say, oh, okay, I'll stay in North Bay, there's a demand here. First of all, thank you, please stay with meet you all nurses and all the healthcare individuals. I want to take this chance to thank all healthcare individuals out there who's helping to protect our population and community. Thank you for what you're doing. So anyway, if you're a graduate from your major, I want to make sure that you don't just say, okay, I'm going to get hired tomorrow right here. If we need it, that's a different story. But again, if you have freedom of moving around, try that. More you linger in a realm of unknown, more opportunity. Okay. And you need to understand, if you have not achieved what you wanted, it's not because the society we live in. It's not because everybody is somehow programmed that, I'm not going to get my chance. No. Those limited thoughts, throw out the window. We live in Canada. We live in North Bay. Everything's possible. The Canadian dream is so possible as long as you believe that is possible. So what I want you to do is, when you truly feel de facto by being out there in a realm of unknown, what happens? More possibilities for you. And universe doesn't give you what you want. It gives you who you become. Write that down. If you're taking away one thing out of this session, I want you to take this away. Universe doesn't give you what you want. It gives you who you become. Anyway, I got a few other slides, but which I will share with you, so you know what is out there, and then maybe next time we will pick from that point. If I'm okay, there it is. Okay, I'm sorry that I have my camera down. I have another camera down here, but for sake of it, I'm not going to do it. So there it is. So I really hope that you see this. There it is. How to manifest it into three-dimensional reality. So again, we discovered our passion. Now we know for a fact, what vehicle we want to use to really present it to the marketplace. And then we know for a fact that it speaks to our soul. That's who we are. That's our mission, all those good stuff. So now we're going to really manifest it into three-dimensional reality. And that is really a science itself, because I help many individuals myself with that, with this, what do you call it, part of the plan. And is that you need to understand how to strategize your roadmap so that you really have that. Yeah, I understand you have to feel the fear of those things, but you can't go just cowboy like that. Many people lost a lot of money and energy and then opportunities by just really going out there and then saying, oh, well, I love this. Yes, as long as you know the consequence of what you're doing, go for it. It's your life. You can do what you want to do. But again, the strategy of a roadmap is huge. Okay, how to really find a proper strategy to really present your art to the marketplace. All right. So we need to really understand is the deciding part of it, planning, launch, progress, and achievement. What does it really involve? And transitioning from where you are to where we want to go as well. So this is very important part that hopefully again, next time we'll talk about it. And then again, thank you for your time and energy here. I really appreciate it that I had the opportunity to serve you today. If you want to reach out to me, that's my email, and then my office down on Main Street. Feel free to stop by. It's a way appointment only. Please make sure that you reach out to me before. And then Sarah, if you have any questions, or if did I miss anything, what's going on? Tell me.
No, I think you did a fantastic job. Thank you so much. And I think it's really important to talk about authenticity as well, in regards to reaching out to people and speaking with people. So I really appreciate that. And no, I think you've definitely hit the nail on the head for a lot of the topics that we had spoken about previously. So I appreciate that. And I just want to say thank you. There was no questions in the chat, but again, Haas put his contact information at the end. So even if you're watching this in the recording after, you can reach out to him directly and set up a meeting or chat with him, and he'd be more than willing to do that. So I just want to say, Haas, thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. And thank you for joining us, and we hope you all have a really great day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.